Good morning to you. It is 8:14 Scott Church here
Hi,
in the
everybody.
studio. How you doing?
I'm a cavalcade of whimsy. I'm having a great time with life right now, and I'm just really enjoying my spring.
All right, well, good. Let me first, before we get to your stated purpose for being here, let me first ask you, because I know, we talked a little bit at the courthouse after the hearing in which you were discounted, taken off the ballot for the GOP race for mayor.
And thank God. Oh, she did me such a favor.
Oh,
She did me such a favor.
why do you say that?
She did me such a favor because things in the city are such a mess right now, and I don't want to own any of that. I'm sorry
no
with
way was
everything,
that.
and I love all these people. They're wonderful, but man, my little kick into city government there for a heartbeat, it was whoa. Hold on. And man, I'd rather just help people and make things pretty and have parades. That's what I want to do. So the good things that are happening now in the city, I'm just going to do my best to try to be a part of it and try to make them even better.
Well, wait a second. You also said you were still interested in government.
Love my city, and the government runs my city. And if we work with the government to make the city better, then I love my government.
Okay. But you don't want to be a part of the government.
I feel like I'm doing better things. What was the Obi-Wan Kenobi line? If you strike me down, I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. Well, now I'm doing the things that I would have talked about wanting to do when I was mayor, just on my own. You don't have to be mayor to get things done in this city. You don't have to run for political office to inspire politicians. You can be the change, as cliche as that phrase has become, but it's really a true thing. All of these things that I would have said that I wanted to do, I just want to start getting them done. And look, the reason that we're here is because I took one of your ideas and ran with it. And
I'm an idea maker.
Well, you inspire this community.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So here was the deal. A few weeks ago, I had to take my daughter to the doctor in the afternoon, and we are coming down 10th Street at that weird intersection with 10th Street and 9th Street, Quentin Road, that whole intersection there. And we were at the light waiting to proceed over 9th Street and continue on down to the doctor's offices down that way along Cornwall Road. Anyway, I digress. Sitting at that light, I looked over to my left, and there is the tank in Fisher Memorial Park there at that intersection. And I was like, boy, that tank looks kind of cruddy. It looks like it's falling apart. There's a lot of rust and just a lot of dirt and everything on that tank. And it's such a cool monument. You said that on the air.
You did. But the reason it was so obvious is because the city just did a ton of work on that park, on the grounds, on the trees. They cut 2 massive trees. That tank used to be surrounded a lot more, and you really couldn't get a good look at it because there was so much going on. The city took out those trees. They redid the entire area around it, and they did a really great job with it. There's just one thing left, the tank itself.
Yeah.
Because it sat under those trees for 30 years. It's now growing stuff. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
And it's still a tank. It's still in great shape underneath all of it,
Yeah.
but it just needs a little love.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned that on the air. You heard that. I guess I said, I don't remember saying it, but you remember me saying it, that I thought it would be a great Eagle Scout project.
You totally did. And that part of what you said was the thing that really triggered this entire thing in my head. I used to be a Boy Scout. I got tired of the Boy Scouts before I finished my Eagle. So I'm a Life Scout from Troop 34 from back in the 80s. And I never did that Eagle project. When you said that, it's like, wow, that would be a great Eagle. And then I thought, wow, that would be a great Eagle project for me.
Just to sort of soothe your soul.
Exactly. Just for myself. This might not have been the project that I would have done in 1986 or 87 for it, but it's going to be the project that I do in 2025 because this is a really important thing that should get done. And it's something that I believe that the entire community could get behind, and the entire community did. I mean, we put this out as an idea on Saturday, and we had teams of people ready to go to work. And I'm not just talking about the veterans that immediately supported the idea. I'm talking about professional service industry people that really know what they're doing, the people that are going to do this job right. Because our goal is not just to clean this sucker up a little bit. Our goal is to restore it. Our goal is to make it look exactly like it did when it was dropped off by the Army in 1997.
Okay. What is the background? Because you've had to kind of figure all of that out through the
Sure,
course
yeah.
of the past week.
Yeah, well, you know what? Okay, first of all, this is the third tank that our city has hosted.
Oh, okay.
The first two tanks were World War I, World War II era tanks, and they were basically playground equipment. Kids could climb on them and climb inside of them. They had them all set up and open, and there were a lot of people commenting. I remember climbing inside that old tank, and ooh, that no.
Was that Fisher Park?
No, I think there was one at Fisher Park before this one, and I think the other one might have been at Coleman or somewhere else. I'm
Okay.
not sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure that somebody knows, and they'll comment and they'll tell me.
And they let kids climb.
Oh
in
my
that-
God! Yeah, I saw.
Can you
pictures.
imagine
I
that
saw
happening
pictures.
today?
I know I can't.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I climbed up on that tank yesterday just to scout around it and see what was going on up on top, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, I see it happening today." But I'll tell you what, it did happen back in the 50s and 60s. And even when I was a kid, the playground equipment was a lot more dangerous than it is,
Oh, yeah.
these
Oh,
days.
yeah.
So I'm not that surprised. But the point is, this is the third tank. And this tank was delivered in 1997 by the Army to the spot. It was signed over to a group called the Veterans Advisory Council in 1997. We've seen the paperwork. We've seen all the stuff. And when we got to that point, because this is 30 years ago, we don't know that the organization is even still around, much less being able to
Oh,
find
it
any
is.
of those people. They totally are. They're on Facebook. They have an active group. They do active things.
They put on the yearly Memorial Day parade.
Exactly. They're doing great things for the community. And now I got to connect with that group too. And they love this idea and they're all about getting things going. And
Sure.
that's really all it took. It was just putting the idea out there and saying that we're just going to want to make this happen.
What do we
How
need
do
to
we
do?
do?
Yeah.
How do we do it? And
Yeah.
everybody, including city people, including administration people, and we've talked to everybody. We've talked to Scott Core at the Department of Veterans Affairs, and he pointed us, it was a process to get us to where we're at now. And where we're at now is a pretty good place.
Okay. And so there's going to be a massive power washing of this tank.
Yeah, that's the first step. That's
Okay.
the first step.
And when is that
When
going to?
that's going to happen on Sunday, it's the first step in the process. And that's being done by Outlaw Power Washing. He's going to be there on Sunday. He's going to go to town on that. And then we're going to see where we're at from there.
Okay.
It's an ongoing process, but I think it's an achievable goal of trying to have this done for Memorial Day.
Now, after the power washing and provided everything dries off and everything is fine, then you want to slap a coat of paint on it?
Yeah, not just a coat of paint. We have Key Painting and Decorating. Rob Onsbach, the director from Key Painting and Decorating, has not only offered the services of his group for free to do the work, but we're getting paint donated. The
Thanks.
paint is being donated. The labor is being donated.
Or
And
creative, sir.
my whole team got a ton of promotion yesterday, and I'm so proud of these guys for stepping up and really doing what they're doing for the community. And it's just awesome to make this process just happen.
Now, do we know what era is that tank? Is it a
Vietnam
Vietnam?
era.
Okay, is it
Yeah.
Vietnam? Is it a Bradley tank or
No,
what?
yeah, it's an M1. It's a Vietnam era tank, and it's not going to do a whole lot of tanking. The engine's been bored out and it's been welded shut. And
Sure.
It's very much
It's a static
monument now.
display.
Exactly.
But,
Very much a monument.
Yeah, but that's awesome. And maybe we can even get a little plaque or something to put in front of it to
Well,
commemorate.
there's a beautiful plaque in front of it, and it's dedicated to all the veterans of the city.
Okay.
The plaque is already.
Oh,
and
okay.
The purpose of this.
See, again,
The-
that's something you wouldn't have seen with,
Oh, yeah,
with all
totally.
of that
Yeah,
shrubbery
right.
around.
Mhm. The idea is not to change this at all. The idea is to let the statement stand on its own, exactly the way that it was presented. We just want it to look like the day they dropped it off.
Okay. All right. Very good.
That's all.
Well, thanks for running with it.
Yeah.
Maybe set something out to the universe to manifest, and there it was.
And know that that happens a lot more often than, big public spectacles, come about it. The things that you talk about, the things that people that you interview talk about on the air. My girlfriend Janae is looking for a pond for her koi fish, maybe in the city. Maybe we can just kind of putting it out of the universe just like this.
Oh, you want to relocate the
She's
coin?
trying to relocate them. She's got a whole bunch of them and she needs somewhere to go with them. So
All right.
we're looking for a pond for her koi fish.
Do you have a home for my coin? All right. What time is the power
There's
washing?
no schedule. He's going to get there on Sunday during the day at some point
And just do
take care of it. We're not making a big public thing because it is a high traffic area. We don't want to have people running across.
Okay.
We're going to try to minimize that as much as we can until we're really ready to involve the public. But for now, we're just going to let the professionals do their jobs.
Okay, very good. Scott Church, thanks for taking the ball and running with it. And we'll look for great things from the tank at Fisher Memorial Park in Lebanon.